Hey guys, what's up? My name's Theo. I play middle linebacker for the Hilversum Hurricanes. That is in the Netherlands, that is in Europe, that is not in North America. Yes, I speak English. I am an American citizen, but I live here. So, welcome to my channel. We are currently on what's called winter stop, which means we don't really do practices or games for December. The Dutch have their Christmas Sinterklaas holiday at the beginning, and then Christmas happens at the end, and then everybody likes to light off fireworks for New Year's, and then it gets cold and people want to go on vacations. I'm not sure how that's working right now with the current, but you know, things have been funky the last 2 winter stops. Anyways, so yes, I do vlog every day on my channel, basically going to the gym, going shopping. We're currently under a quasi restriction, not quite a lockdown. So I'm not going out too terribly much, plus it snowed this morning. It didn't stick. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much that. However, Mondays and Fridays are football videos, like this one. It's a Friday video. Friday videos are respond to comments on videos, if there isn't much. Usually news, like how the season's going or anything happening with the ELF or AFBN, or there was some Belgian bowl drama stuff going on. So yeah, new stuff like that. And then we would follow that up by going to practice that night, but we're on winter stop. Monday videos is usually, it's practice during the day. On a Sunday, I film and then put up the day after. However, like I said, winter stop, not doing much right now. How these videos goes, like I said, comments, news, practice, but there's no practice. So I'm planning on, after the news, talking about YouTubers that do football content. Not necessarily the big name people that are like way more popular than I am, but like there's a lot of people that I see that could use some love, that do some really good work and not clickbaity stuff over and over. Some of them are possibly Americans in Europe playing football. Anyway, so first let's get down with comments. So we're going back 7 days to the last week. Monday's video was American football, spelled that one wrong, linebacker holiday gifts. It was just basically stuff that I use in my gear and things you could possibly get, especially if you're looking at, you know, getting stuff for Christmas. I also realized that perhaps if you wanted to have a very specialized gift for your favorite little linebacker, you could always look for one of these on eBay, like I did. Yeah, I got one of these. I haven't opened it. There is this list. So you can look up PUP with an exclamation mark football, and each of those guys has their own. Get a little pop cap figure for your little footballer. And there's almost every position is there. So there's like quarterbacks and defensive backs and wide receivers and whatnot. I don't know if there's any linemen. So, comments. iDeputy Law 21 asks, do you do college football? No, I do not do college football. I did not do college football. My college was astrophysics, theoretical. I was studying physics and math at a community college in Vancouver, Washington. They had sports teams, but not a football team. I think someone told me they did have football gear somewhere in a storage unit, but not enough people to be interested in actually playing the sport. You know, I told them I do play in the Netherlands league, and there are no school sports here. So you would go to middelbare or high school for teenage years, and then in your neighborhood or nearby, you would play a part of a sport club. So like here, if there was an American football team near me, I'd probably play for them because they'd be a lot closer. To be fair, there are a couple teams really close, but nobody's super close. So I chose the team. I chose Hilversum because it's felt like a better choice. That's that. But when it comes down to like soccer or field hockey, the more popular sports, basketball, sometimes you're just playing with a local neighborhood or something like that, and because like there's sport fields out on, and it's called Sport Park Iber, and there's clubs there, and they've got, and just like near my football club, we are the ASC, American Sports Club Hilversum Hurricanes. So we have like softball, baseball, and American football. Nearby there's like, you know, the Hilversum Hockey Club. you more or less play for your city unless your city gets big enough, and then sometimes you'll have like North Hilversum and South Hilversum. Like, that's why, you know, barely anybody has like a mascot name, you know, like that's how it just works. FC Bayern. Like, to be fair, here they have AFC Ajax, which is the Amsterdam soccer team that's super professional, blah, blah, blah. Like, the big stadium here is for them. But yes, nobody is a part of Evergreen High School or Mountain View High School football. They do not do that. You go to school and then you go to your sport club afterwards as an extra, it's not even really extracurricular, it's just you're doing your sport thing separate from school. And I think that helps because it allows kids to focus more on school while they're at school rather than just doing in your sports. If you're doing good in sports and you're doing bad in school, that doesn't mean you get passed through on school like it does in the States. And I explained that to him in the comments. And there are about 20 men's clubs and 7 women's clubs for American football in the entire Netherlands. So yeah, if there were more clubs, like I said, if there was one super close, I'd probably think about that, but it's still like there's nothing really close to me. Everything is about 45 minutes out on transit. I don't have a car, so. Bubbles G asked, what position do I play? Currently middle linebacker. At the football uniform suited video, I did actually play corner, but that's a, some people have their position they thought they were playing and then realized it was trash. 7 hours ago on that same video, someone asked what league do I play for? It's called the AFBN. That's an acronym for American Football Bond Nederland. It's just American football. The Bond is basically the collection of clubs, sort of thing, a club of clubs, and then Nederland is Netherlands. It's not, it just says AFBN. It's, you know, like there's, the Italian one is FIDAF, Federazione Italiana de American Football, Divisione American Football, something like that. And then the AFL is the Austrian Football League and the German Football League, and LNFA is the Liga Nacional Futbol Americano in Spain, I think. But yeah, they're not funny named. They're not like the Midwest Battle Royale League. They're just named the sport and then the team. Like, we could have the NFL, the Nederlandse, the NAFL, Nederlandse American Football League, but that just sounds weird. To be fair, BAFL and BAFA are a thing. The Belgian American Football League and the British American Football Association. I think Finland has the Maple League. To be fair, we could be called the Tulip League, but if you want to Google Netherlands tulips, you might understand why, but... Okay, so news. Again, we're on winter stop. That means for the month of December, there's not really much going on. Personally, I'm going to strike up some individual like sled training with someone from my gym, at least 4 sessions. It may spill over into January with practices, but with our current restrictive measures, don't want to really say it's lockdown because, you know, we're not really locked down. They're just kind of putting in a really soft curfew. The sport fields out by my place, their lights turn off at 5. To be fair, it's pretty dark by then, but the fact is that the lights used to stay on until 10. But now, like, even the guy at the gym I was talking to, he went out to the Athleticbaan, or the running track, after he got off work and was doing some of his own personal workout stuff, and all the lights turned off. He goes, at 5. I'm like, yeah, saw that at the sport fields. He goes, it's just so weird. I'm like, it is weird. Like, I could understand the public gyms not being open to, you know, have like 3v3 basketball or something, but like the outdoor sport fields, it's just, apparently this is only happening for like 3 weeks, but 3 weeks, whatever. Yeah, that's the funky thing with that. And last week I went over the stats of the league. So we covered that much. And apparently the ELF, which is the professional league across Europe, has expanded to 9 teams. No, they have 12 teams. They have 12 teams. Sorry, I was about ready to look, but then I realized that they have 3 divisions of 4 teams. And everybody was making jokes that the Central League, because it's a North, Central, Mid, and a South, that the Central League got the Stuttgart Scorpions wrapped up into like the heaviest of hitters in the ELF, but whatever. On top of that, we have that they're changing their kickoff rules. If you are interested, like, I'll explain this, and then I can do Sunday and explain to you what this kickoff rule thing is, because it seems just so weird. Actually, I might just effectively go over that one, just because it's weird content. And so, but like, the kickoff team lines up on the 30, and the kick return team, except for the returner, lines up on the 35. So, like, they're 5 yards apart from each other, just like this. Like, you take the kick return team and you put them 5 yards away from a dire kickoff line. The kicker kicks the ball, and nobody can move until somehow the receiver touches the ball. I guess if the ball lands, it's good. I couldn't read the rules very well. They were posting it on an Insta story, and that's tiny little screen. So I'll find it later, post it somewhere. But yeah, it's funny, it's funky. So yeah, and then once the ball hits, everybody can then run and have the little melee. It's designed about safety, but I don't like. There were some people going at it in the comments. They're not happy about this change because it's like, it seems like that's what arena football does, maybe, or the XFL, but I mean, I guess you need to have variance to figure out what works better for the sport as a whole. I mean, for Christ, if we didn't have variance on rules and slightly changing things to be a little bit better, we'd still be playing rugby. Well, you know, pepperoni sticks, well, they're handcrafted in France, so they're not really pepperoni sticks. They're called Polderworstjes. Anyways, so that's what's going on with that. And then the Belgian league thing, their Belgian Bowl was having an issue, was the two teams that got to the very end, there was a medical issue with one team. So how the situation went down. Team A had a player go down with a very severe concussion, like drifting in and out of consciousness and just lying on the side. According to the Belgian rules, you must secure an ambulance. We don't have that issue. I've never really seen an ambulance present at our games. I think some people have had it, but it's not required. So, but in Belgium, apparently it is required. Anyways, and that's totally fine to reserve an ambulance for a while so that you can have someone right there in case something very bad does happen and they need to be taken immediately, because American football can cause injuries like that need immediate medical attention. They have medical facilities of sorts inside NFL stadiums, but we don't when we're out in the middle of like Sport Park Loosdrecht. But anyways, so yeah, but they didn't have one on hand, and for like 20 minutes this player was on the sideline with like nursing trained teammates trying to help keep him alive, like awake and alive, while they waited for the ambulance to arrive that was supposed to be there already. And so the Brussels team, basically they forfeited and they boycotted the Belgian Bowl because the other team, like, it was just very bad because of that whole incident. They could have actually lost a player due to the mishandling of the medical stuff. Again, it's their drama down there in Belgium, but it is something that did happen to the point where they were getting anybody wanted to come together and fight the people, and what happens if the other team wins, and the ones that were supposed to, like, we were making jokes in our chat that, we could get a bunch of Netherlands team players together and go play in the Belgian Bowl against the Belgian team. And if they lose, then this conglomeration of Dutch American football players claim the title of the Belgian Bowl. We were just making jokes about that. I don't think it would have actually been able to happen. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. So that's all the various news that I've got for now. Like I said, we're in a really low time. Okay, so I've got 4 channels. So I know I said that there was a restriction of the lesser known, popular than me, but so we're gonna bring up J Willie TV, which I brought up before. He's in Europe, defensive back. It's one of his videos from 4 months ago says the untold story how he almost sacked Patrick Mahomes in high school. I'm gonna put the channels below, and you're gonna get little cards up there to these channels. Yeah, apparently he did college and is now playing international football. So yeah, that's an option. I'd say go over and give him some love. 4 days ago was the most recent video, and he's mic'd up. So, but he also does like day in the life. Like one of his videos is grocery shopping in Spain. What's practice like in Spain 8 months ago? Similar stuff like that. Anyways, and then the channel that used to be Lineman Football is now called Footballers. Yes, I'm aware that they are like 6 times my subscriber count. But the thing is I know a lot of linemen like to watch my stuff, and they're like, yeah, I'm a defensive lineman. Yeah, I don't know, what gear should I use? And I'm like, yeah. And as being part of the linebacker community, I'm closer to being a lineman than a quarterback. So it's really hard to get some of the other ones that are like wide receivers and quarterbacks that are like, they have their channels, and they're like, hey guys, do you have any gear for linemen? And they're like, no. Like they have no clue. But anyways, so I'm going to say this one, they do a lot of stuff. One recent video was, what does Myles Garrett wear on the field? And I've been kind of looking for that one for like Luke Kuechly. I haven't done a lot of information on that one. I probably could and do some cross-referencing through images and stuff, but it is awkward. But then they have 12 tips for buying football equipment. That was from 6 days ago. They do put out fairly regular content, and it's all football. So I'd say give them a look out. They've got best gloves for skill positions, best gloves for linemen. Last week I did best gloves, the only gloves for linebackers are basically padded receiver gloves. So that's that. Saw something from 2 weeks ago, says what's in my college football gear, and then what a real D2 college football away game is like, and it's 12 days ago. It's Chris Colbank. Check out that channel. He's a D2 athlete, day in the life vlog sort of stuff, how college football goes. There you go. Again, the YouTube market is saturated with quarterbacks, wide receivers, and a couple defensive backs. Do stuff. And if you have a channel that you put out content on, like if you have I did my football gear 2 years ago, I do football content, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something at least in the last month. If only you want to upload once a month, that's fine. But if you haven't uploaded in 2 years and consider yourself a football channel, I don't know. And then, as I brought up earlier, there's Hadrien Linda. He is French. He plays in France. He's played around Europe, but all his stuff is in French. You could probably get YouTube to translate it for you, but he's got 1,000 subscribers, 1,500. And again, it's in French. If you speak French, or you want to try to listen to what French players do, then that's that. I would not be against, say, trying to get my teammates to do everything in Dutch, just so you guys could hear what American football is like in Dutch, but not a lot of them are into the whole being on camera sort of thing. And I don't do a lot of the sideline sounds when Aaron records for a game, although most of that is in Dutch. But anyways, so yeah, again, you can subscribe to all these guys, but again, the last one, he's French. So if you have language issues, then that's going to be a problem. I watch them, but I don't understand what's going on half the time. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I will let you guys go, and we will see how that ELF thing works out on Monday's video. I'm going to get more information about that and how it works and just the awkwardness of it. Again, I think it's how the XFL is running it, but I think there's a safety and then there's like leave it the way it is sort of thing. I don't know. Catch you later.